Yeah. Welcome to WarriorSince Not One Podcast. Let me start looking at the camera. Welcome to WarriorSince Not One Podcast. It's your boy, Izzy Too Real. My boy Tay back with me. Week 2, episode. What up with you, boy?
What's going on, brother?
Shit, nothing much. Can't call it. Well, I can after watching that horrible-ass game against the Memphis Grizzlies today on the 18th of March. Man, 0-3. 0-3.
Another loss, another L on the road. What can we say, man? Can't say we too surprised about it, but gotta talk about it.
Yeah, I'm not surprised about it, but then I am. That's the crazy part, because I feel like they should have at least got one of those damn games, man. And there's no excuse to why you couldn't grab one. I understand maybe the Clipper game, but this one, maybe you should have got the Atlanta game. Maybe you should have got like one of them, but you fumbled all three of them. And just the frustration on Steph's face, I felt like explains it all.
Yeah, on top of the L last night, I think Steph was maybe a little bit mentally tuned out, and he just ready to maybe call it a season. It seems like to me. I don't know. It just seemed like he demoralized, and maybe the team is still in that same energy, and it's infectious, man.
I feel like he still got it though, like not demoralized to the point like. I feel Jordan Poole he might be demoralized. Like everything about what he do out there, except for maybe a 3-minute spurt, looks demoralized. But it just seemed like Steph may be on a hyper. If you niggas can't get on suit with me, I don't know what I can do here. Like more of that.
Agree, and it's not me. This is not me taking into account. This is the second out of a back-to-back. Him dropping 50, so he probably is still tired from last night. So maybe I'm reading a little bit into the body language, but it just seemed like, man, it wasn't a lot of effort out there from everybody, starting with Steph. So I just have to call it how I see it. But I may be overreacting a little tiny bit, but it just seemed like other than Kuminga, none of the players had a lot of energy on both ends of the court.
That's true. Not a Donte DiVincenzo, because he didn't have energy. I don't know, where has Clay been? I feel like maybe they're not getting Clay involved like they should. He becomes hidden on the court, and then that's when he becomes forced to take like tough shots because he don't get the ball, or they're not looking for him, or they're not running a floppy action for him or something. That's when he starts just chunking up shots or just looking like he lost out there. Like, what you think?
No, I agree, but I feel like it's deeper than Clay. It's the whole totality of the offense. Other than Curry, it seems like since he's come back, no one has had that usual rhythm. You know, the whole team still kind of finding that pecking order from Steph coming back several games ago, and we haven't found that rhythm that we need to ride yet. We got a good dub against a few days ago that we needed against the Bucks, but other than that, it hasn't been a bright spot since Curry came back. So.
At all. But remember last week, I told you, I said, watch, they going to go out there and they going to beat Milwaukee, they going to beat Phoenix, and then they going to go over on that road trip. Didn't I say that? And that's exactly what's happening. Like, now they 0-3.
You for sure called out that Milwaukee dub. So shout out to you. You called that out. And you said we would slump after that, and that's what's happening.
I don't understand it. It don't make sense. It don't make sense. You can't just tell me it's a crowd. Like, it's not just the crowd. And like 4 of you guys, at least, besides the main core guys, was on this team last year. Right. So you should know how to play on the road. Like, Kuminga should know how to play on the road. Moses Moody should know how to play on the road. Jordan Poole should know how to play on the road. Like, I don't understand it. Donte DiVincenzo, you played with the Milwaukee Bucks and the Sacramento Kings. You should know how to play on the road.
And the experience. Plenty of playoff experience as well, so right.
What is the excuse besides the defense? So, that's part of the stuff that we're going to get into today on the show. But let's get into it. So I'm going to give you the rundown. So we're just going to talk the news of the week this week. It's a lot that's in the news, but we're going to just talk about that, get each other's opinions on that. We also going to go over the game reviews, the standings of the week, because right now they're surprisingly sitting at 7th. I have no clue how, but they're sitting at 7th right now as we speak. On here, 18th. Then we're going to have the conversation about is like the coaching the problem, which we have every week. And then a new segment where we're going to talk about, or not talk about, but we're just going to have the rapid fire questions at the very end. We're going to shoot questions back and forth and have some quick rapid fire answers and opinions. But I do have one other thing too that I want to talk about before we even dip into the show too much. Like the NBA, like just watching the way that the NBA is going, like this is the strangest season in a long time. And I'm not even I will even count the pandemic seasons, the 2 pandemic seasons, the one without the crowd and the one where it just stopped in the middle of the season. I'll count those because those were weird situations too. But I feel like what's happening now is even more weird than that. Like before I get into how you feel, before I get into explaining why I feel that way.
I mean, other than the mixture of all the teams kind of being jumbled and not really having no distance between the two, that's all kind of point out so far is just how up for grabs the season is on both sides of the conference, Eastern and West. How even though we still slumping, we still can finish within the top 4 or 5, even though we've been slumping. So how downwards the league is in terms of where teams were last season, how everyone's kind of taking a step back.
Correct. I think so too, though. A lot of teams taking a step back. But what I do feel like is like, just think about it. So it was at least 5 to 6 teams that just had controversy surrounding them. Just some bullshit at either the beginning of the season or the middle of the season. Just with some bullshit that's surrounding them. I can name the teams off to you. Boston, the Ime Udoka situation. Remember that? That was at the very beginning of the season. The Kyrie situation in Brooklyn, where the comments that he made about the situation. I'm not going to get into that. I don't want to get dinged on YouTube. Golden State, our own problems with the Draymond and the Jordan Poole punch. Atlanta, they had their problems with Trae Young and Nate McMillan. Then he ends up getting fired in the middle of the season. They had their the Phoenix Suns. Remember, Jay Crowder was pulled. Don't even know why he was pulled. Didn't even play for a whole portion of the season and then got traded. So he didn't even play for Phoenix this year at all. Just they sat him until they traded him at the deadline to Milwaukee or to Brooklyn. Just teams mired in controversy. And a few of them are in the same position that we in. The Phoenix Suns love them, but they're kind of in the same position we're in, especially with KD being hurt after the trade. So with teams that's mired in controversy, then the referees at their worst this year. Right. They're worse. And I don't know if it's too much into the gambling thing that's kind of been implicated into the NBA now. I don't know if that, but this has been the worst officiated season since the Donte scandal. Since. So with all these things and just baffling shot making from teams that you'll be like, wait, what? Dog, you could not throw the ball in the ocean last year. Really, 2 games ago, 3 games ago, you couldn't throw the ball in the ocean. Now this game, you all of a sudden going crazy. And this is merely that part, or that point is merely just coming from a Warriors fan, just seeing how many teams on a nightly basis just come in, just making crazy shots. So as far as that, just being so strange, plus the bunched upness with the Western Conference and the Eastern Conference, where you can't call who the hell's going to win the championship this year. The strangest season. What the hell's going on?
I think we may be seeing a change near the guards, because a lot of the teams that are typically towards the top of the list are not there. It's a lot of young teams that are slowly taking their place in the league, and it's apparent. The LeBrons, they may sneak into the playoffs, but normally they would be towards the favorite when he's in the playoffs. But this year, even if he was to make the playoffs, I don't think they'll be the favorite. The favorite is probably going to be a team that hasn't won a championship in the last couple of years. So that does create a little bit of excitement throughout the league, but I'm not really sure where direction is headed in.
I'm not either. And I listened to the little interview that Damian Lillard had with JJ Redick on the JJ Redick podcast. And he was saying I'm not going to say he was saying the same thing, so I don't want to misquote him, but he was saying how like the NBA has changed so much that he don't even know if he's going to be playing in the league too much longer, because it's not enjoyable anymore. Now it's about guys want to get the bag and just want to go out and certain kind of moves, and then it is what it is. Low management issues. So he was even saying a lot of the same stuff and how you can tell that the gambling part is now a part of the NBA. There's vendettas. Did you remember Fred VanVleet got fined for speaking on it, about a month ago? There's referees with vendettas, and Marcus Smart comes out the very next week and says, oh, yeah, Fred VanVleet not telling a lie. I got like 2 referees that I feel like got a vendetta against me. So it's like, well, okay, so the NBA knows this, but they're not doing anything to fix it. Nothing. They just act like the referees are doing a very good job. Not even a pat. No, they're going to give them a pat on the back. Good job, pat on the back. Next game. And these guys are going to be ones calling playoff games in the next couple months or the next month or so. I don't feel comfortable about this.
I don't either, man. I feel like the game, the focus of the game at the end of the game should be the players and the plays they made. We shouldn't be pondering about whether a referee made a call or didn't make a call, and it's taken away from the last 2 minutes of the game and the excitement of it. From the no call LeBron had with pre All-Star break that changed literally the entirety of the game with the no call, the layup.
Right.
Like we're focusing more so not on the product, but more so on the refs, and that has to hurt the league in the long run. And I know they see it, but it's a fairly new rule with the DraftKings and all this gambling being incorporated into the NBA. So maybe they still waiting it out and seeing how they gonna approach it. But I can't help but know that. But I can't help but think that they know it's a problem going on in the NBA with the refs and the lack of calls,
or that they even notice that it's a bad look for the league, whether it's true or not. You know what I mean? Like, it's a bad look because it could start looking like, okay, now it's starting to look like we're rigging games. Now it's starting to look like the Donte guy was telling the truth when he was having his case and going around blabbing stuff to the whole world. It starts to create a bad look. And it don't seem like they're trying to change anything about it. They'll make a couple rules and then they'll forget about the rules a month into the season. Like the rip-through call or the call that we were talking about actually during the game. What call was that? Oh, the flopping. Remember, they used to give the fines for flopping. They don't get a fines for flopping.
At least they did. Has any player actually ever got fined for that?
Yeah, they did it. Yeah. Chris Paul did. I remember he got a fine. I'm trying to think of who was the main number one flopper because he was the first one who got with it. And I can't remember who it was. But it was somebody who always flopped, and he was the first one who got hit with it, and they got the fines and everything to go through. And I remember Chris Paul getting one. So I think it was somebody from the Clippers. But anyway, they have that rule, and then like 1 month into the season, they'll forget about it. And it's just like thrown out the fucking window. Like, no, keep the rule in. Don't just enforce it for 1 month and then forget about it or call it during the game when you want to because it benefits the team that you want to win. So
I agree. It's taken away from the art, and it something needs to change about it.
It do.
More than just a little officiating. I know the NBA they'll have like the last 2 minute review, or if the referee makes a mistake, they'll the next day talk about it and they'll put it in the paper or they'll admit to it. But I think it takes more than just that.
And sometimes they lie.
It start initially, but it takes a little more than just that.
I agree, but sometimes they even lie too. And know the call was blatant, and still the next week or the next day on the 2 minute report to be like, no, the officials were right on this call, and they'll try to make an excuse why, but then they don't have it match what the actual NBA rule to that is. And you'll be like, oh, whatever, but it's not even point to even put that out. The game is over. We're on to the next. We don't even care. It's not like you're going to go back and give the team the win at the end of the day. So it's kind of pointless. Just check how.
Right. That's how I feel about the challenges they got in the NBA. Remind me, NFL, like it just gives them another opportunity to get the call wrong that they didn't get right in the first place. So it just seemed like that call will make the game a little easier, but in a weird way, it's made it more complicated. Like calls that we would think would be for sure, it's almost never that. The announcers are sometimes astonished by it. So it's like,
right.
It's more than just a casual fan that sees this. The announcers are also seeing this as well. So I know the NBA has to hear from somebody.
You have to. But I think they get scared too. Teams, like team officials, because they be afraid of getting fined. But it's like, yo, you got to bring that shit to their attention, whether you're going to get fined or not. Like, they need to know. Like, somebody needs to complain. Just like, I'll move on to a topic that I got on here for news, not news of the week, but just a topic here for the show. Just like, Steph Curry, why does he never get foul calls? These guys are superstar. Why doesn't he get anything close to superstar calls? Dame Lillard can go get bumped, go to the line. Ja Morant can barely get bumped, go to the line. Luka Doncic can barely get bumped, go to the line. I can keep going. James Harden can barely get bumped, go to the line. Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, who was like 4 years in the league, is getting superstar calls. But
Agreed.
the best
pretty much all those guys you named average more than Curry free throws. So yeah, you're right.
It's how? You can't say because Curry don't drive to the bucket.
No, it's not that. It's not the frame. It's not that he's jacking up these threes. In the past, they would have blamed on him being a shooter. But if you watch closely the games, Curry, he's getting to the rack. He's trying to draw that contact. He's just not getting them calls on a consistent basis that most stars normally would.
That most stars, I'm not even gonna say normally would. They get. Dame is. You're not touching Dame without him going to the line. And you know I love Dame, straight from Oakland. You touch Dame, he going to the line. It's not a question. You touch Luka. Even as much as he complains, but even if you touch Luka, he's going to the line. And I think that's why he complains so much, because he knows he's getting brushed or getting bumped every play, because they have to. You got to play him tough like that because you know he's going to bitch and you feel like that's going to take him out of his rhythm. So I get it. But every play, he's going to the line. Why Steph don't get those calls? Or anything close to that?
I had an answer for you, man. I wish I had an answer for you. I'm not sure if it's the Warriors' just whole offense, because they don't do a lot of driving as a whole. They have they singular players that tend to get to the bucket, the Jordan Pooles, the Wiggins, the Kumingas every once in a while. But as a team, we're not a slashing team, so I don't know if the league is penalizing us for not, driving more, having that stigma of being a shooting team. But it's something that's holding us back from getting them calls. Because Jordan Poole sometimes, don't get me wrong, he'll exaggerate the contact like a lot of players do, but he'll get touched and not get his call. So I can see the frustration that he feels. It's like, do I exaggerate the contact to get the call that I'm not getting, or do I play pure and not get it? Like, it's kind of a dilemma that I think a lot of players are caught into. Even Curry, you'll see he's starting to exaggerate his contact more as well in order to sell the call that he's not getting.
And he gets frustrated too now. You didn't used to see him get frustrated as much. Now you're starting to see him go talk to the refs like, what the blood? Come on, man. Right. Like, it don't make sense to me. Like
this probably has been the most I've seen him complain visually, like to where the cameras are catching it. So like, right. So it's more stuff going on in timeouts that we don't see as well. That's just what the cameras are showing. So it's definitely it's there.
I agree, and I know it's something there, but we'll never know, or if we do, he'll be well retired before we even find out. But we can move on here. Let's go to like some news items of the week. The first one to talk about, old man Andre, Mr. Iguodala, wrist injury, supposed to have surgery next week. No timetable for his return, which kind of has everybody already speculating that that's a career. Correct. Possibly. There's still a possibility that he come back for playoff games, but the way that they're playing, will they be playing long enough for him to make a return?
The way it's looking like, man, nah. The way it's looking, no. But if we can get not any of our backup back, whether it's Wiggins, whether it's GP2, we need backup. We need some of the players that are not suiting up to play, because those are our defensive pieces that we need, that we're lacking right now. So even if it's not Iguodala, we need either a Wiggins or GP2 to come back to help stiffen up that defense.
And that's true. But as far as for Iguodala, if that's it, congratulations, what a hell of a career. I hate to be the one to do that, so I kind of don't really want to yet. But wrist surgeries, man. It's not just a sprained wrist. I think it's a fracture or a ligament issue. So it's something he got to get surgery for. That's 4 to 6 weeks off top. So it just still all depends on how far they go in the playoffs. I think he can still make a return. I'm not going to give up quite yet. I want to. But looking at the way the rest of the West is going, like, hell, Denver just lost 4 games in a row. I mean, the Nuggets, and they're the top seed in the West. I mean, Memphis, they play off emotion. They don't play off of So I don't see them really going too far in the playoffs. Besides that, Phoenix, when KD comes back, well, who else? So it's like that's why I'm not giving up on him quite yet, but I still see Andre coming back for at least a second round run.
I mean, it would be nice. It would be nice to have him in that locker room. Definitely, we're lacking a lot of leadership off the bench, so it would be nice to have him in there. Even if he doesn't play, it would be nice for him to just to be around the guy, just to keep their spirits high. I like the relationship he has with Wiggins and some of the other guys. So just him being in the building is definitely a plus, even if he's not suiting up for it. So we want to wish him speedy recovery, and
Right.
Hope get
Absolutely.
you back second round or late in that push if we can get there, Iggy. So speedy recovery.
Hell yeah, for sure. And then on that route, so that's the 14th roster spot. Let's talk about the 15th roster spot that got Anthony Lamb's contract converted from a two-way contract to now the 15th roster member. I think it's just for the rest of the season. I'm not sure if it's a 2-year. There's no information that really came out on that yet. But what do you think about the Anthony Lamb being the 15th guy and they finally using that roster spot on him? And then signing Lester Quinones, the guy who was having a great run in their G League team, to the two-way contract that Lamb had.
I didn't know about the Lester guy, so I got to do a little more research and figure out who that guy is. But in terms of Lamb, I think that's a good move. We kind of anticipated that it was going to happen, so it's just glad that we have our final 15 piece, so we can kind of just lock in on the guys that we do have and start to make a push and start to get a little bit of momentum before the season there. I always wondered how will we fill that 15 spot? Will we use a D League guy? Will we try to bring someone out off the street? But it was pretty apparent towards the end of the season that it was going to either be Lamb or Jerome. And based on our team needs, Lamb is a guy that better fits. So I think that they made a good decision doing that, because that's what we kind of need right now, more so than a guard like Jerome.
I agree. If we were to go off of that notion with those two guys, I totally agree. I think we talked about it last week too, so I was like, I'd rather go with Anthony Lamb, just big body. He can still stretch the floor and make threes when you need to. He does commit some dumb fouls, so that's the one thing that kind of, I'm not going to say it pisses me off, but I'd be like, God damn, come on, bro. Like, stop with the dumb fouls. Just either, if you're going to foul him hard, or don't foul him at all and let him get the bucket. You know what I mean? No little snake bite fouls and ones. Like, that happens a lot with Anthony Lamb. So that's my biggest gripe about him. Yesterday kind of pissed me off. I'm not even going to lie. I might get some gripe for this, but on the show, the post-game show, the two women, I'm not even going to say their name, but the two women on the post-game show, they brought up Anthony Lamb, and then they started bringing up the background shit.
Yeah.
And it was like, yo, I get it. I'm not going to say nobody's lying, nobody's telling the truth. I don't know what the situation is. Hell, I'm not even going to look into it. But for the guy that just got a contract, don't bring that stuff up on TV. It's unnecessary. Just like the Ime Udoka thing months ago. It don't need to be on TV. Just like Andrew Wiggins' situation, we heard the rumors. It's not on TV. It don't need to be on television. You don't need to broadcast that to the world after the postgame, on the postgame show, on the same network that carries your game. So I just thought that was a little tacky, and that the girls maybe shouldn't have mentioned that, especially talking about Women's Empowerment Month, and that's why we're doing this show today. I don't know, it kind of pissed me off, bro.
I agree. Though I didn't see that comment made on the post game, I do remember when that initial incident was brought up a few months ago.
Right.
So I'm not sure what the latest update is or what's going on with that, but I do think unless there's any new news being brought up, that's kind of a bad time to bring it up post game.
And that's all I'm saying. It was just a bad time.
Yeah.
It was unnecessary.
Agreed.
Yeah, I mean, but as far as for Lamb, though, congratulations. Again, we live in America, so guilty to proven innocent. I understand, but I don't want to get in trouble too much further. But as far as for the rest of the roster, GP2 should be evaluated, I believe, this coming week. So I'm not going to go ahead and say it's a possibility he could play in the Mavericks game, but he is on the road trip with them, and he will be getting reevaluated this week. So it's a good chance he can be back within the next week or so. So how do you feel if at least you get him back? Not Wiggins, but at least you get GP back. Do you feel a little bit more comfortable with the team at least with that one star defender back.
Absolutely. It's not going to make a total dramatic difference. Like, it's not going to turn our season around, but you're definitely going to see, at least from the guard position, a more controlled, perimeter in terms of whoever he's guarding.
Right.
The entire team might not follow suit, but you'll see less blow bys, at least from the guard position. We'll be able to contain some of the better guards in the league, especially with the Lukas and the Jaws, and with the playoffs coming up. We're going to need our best guard defender healthy. So it's nice to get him back, especially at this time. We just hope that we can get maybe 3-4 games in, get his feet wet, get his cardio up before the playoffs start, because we're going to need him.
We absolutely going to need him. And I'll tell you this, I will absolutely feel a little bit more comfortable. And the reason why I would feel more comfortable is if you can throw him and, like, just say Donte DiVincenzo out. Because, either Steph or Jordan Poole or Clay, one of them three is going to be in the game as the main shooter. If you have those guys just to be just point of attack defense, and Steph, no front on Steph. Defensively, the last 4 or 5 games, I've seen him dig in. Everybody else around hasn't dug in, but I've seen him dig in. Now, maybe some late rotations on the switches, but besides that, one-on-one defense, he's been digging in. If you had those three out there just playing defense, being able to close out to shooters, we won't see so many three-point shots going up uncontested. Right. And I think it will help so much, even if it's the last 4 or 5 games. It's the last 4 or 5 games to get their feet wet going into the playoffs, or even possibly the play-in, because right now it's 7. So they would have to at least probably play one play-in game against Minnesota. So I would feel way more comfortable having that second defender, just like I would if Wiggins was to return. We would have that second defender that will make it more difficult to get in. Is it going to change in a big way as far as for the offense? No, but that's not our biggest problem. Our biggest problem is defense and stopping shooters and closing out to shooters and switching. So that's just my take on it. I feel like GP2's return will plug so many holes that we got right now. Not all of them, by any stretch, some of them. You're supposed to say, I agree. All right. And then moving on here, since we're going to stay on the rotations here. Fuck it, we'll go with this one. Draymond's, he did receive the 16th technical. He got suspended for the Hawks game, which was the last night's game on the 17th. Didn't play. But now that he does got that, it's off his shoulders. He don't got to worry about it. Now it's 2 technicals before he's suspended the game. So it gives him a little more leeway.
It does. The announcers, from the fans, from the media, we all been following that last take because we all knew it was a matter of when, not if it was going to happen. I just was hoping that it happened a little bit closer to the end of the season because, Draymond, he's prone to get another 1 or 2 in another 6 or 7 games. So I just wish it would have happened a little bit later in the season. But it is nice to know, like, that initial 16th one is gone, and that he has at least one in the holster that he can use, like a get out of jail free card, because he's gonna use it.
He's gonna use it.
I'm just hoping it's not in a pivotal moment.
The fucked up part is it might be in a pivotal moment because he's gonna probably keep saving it until then, right. Or not even the one in his pocket. The one in his pocket he could use at any moment. He can use at any moment. It's the one after the one in his pocket. Right. You feel like, bro, you gonna make that shit happen in like the second or conference finals, and that's when we gonna need you, and it's gonna cost us a game on the road. Let me knock on wood, because a lot of my shit that I be saying be coming true.
That's happened before. Remember in the finals, game 5.
Yeah.
Which probably would have ended the series, though. I don't think he got a text for that. That was LeBron teabagging the man, but that's a whole nother conversation for another day. But point is, we needed him for that game 5, and he wasn't there. So
correct, and we would have absolutely won that game 5.
Yes,
wasn't a question, and they knew it, and that's why it was like, nah, let's suspend Draymond. We got to extend this series to 7 games. It's making too much money. We ain't had this much money made on a playoff series since the Lakers Celtics.
Really, I was there upwards of $200 million per game, just to throw out a number. So yeah.
So I absolutely believe that shit. But for Draymond, no, I think he's gonna he's gonna walk that line and he's gonna try to toe it for as long as he can. And again, just hopefully that shit don't happen no time in the playoffs when we need it. Not a game 7. If it's like a game 4, a game 2, I don't give a shit. Like, because Kuminga, the way he played tonight, hey, Kuminga might end up taking your spot if you don't get your act together if the team want to go in the future direction. So that might just be what it is.
Right. Kuminga played his butt off today. If we had a game ball to give, we don't give him when we get L's. But if we had to give Kuminga, would have had that for sure because he was the lone bright spot tonight. So
yeah, he do frustrate me sometimes though, because sometimes he get in that lane and he still just go for a shot instead of looking for one of them 2 wide open shooters because they did all collapsed on him already. That'd be the only little thing. But like, bro, just pass it. You don't have to be the hero every single play. You don't have to get yours every single play. Like, and that's where he kind of started reverting to like the last month. Because remember when Steph was out, he kind of was playing different. Before he had got hurt and sprained his ankle the first time, he was playing different. He was just mainly focused on defense. And if it's an open dunk from the dunker spot, he getting it. But now he kind of looking for his offense more and going back to driving and slashing. And it's like, okay, they cutting you off because you really only got one move. You only got that one move. He's going, he's driving, he's going in, he gonna spin to the right and he gonna come back. That's his move every time.
I like it. I like when he gets to the paint. I think Curry has put more of an emphasis on that part of his game since Wiggins is not there.
Mm-hmm.
We missed that wing slashing, and I think that he's taking that role, and he's not excelled at it. But I mean, he's had his moments where
he's growing.
He's due for that dunk. He had one today, I believe.
He had a few today. He had a few nice ones.
I like knock them free throws down. You know, when he gets to the line, that's another part of his game he got to work on because with the contact he's drawing, he got to be upwards to 80% on the free throw line to maximize the contact.
At least in the 70s. I'm not even 80s because I don't even think Draymond is in. Well, I know Draymond ain't in the damn 80s, but at least like 70-something%. Be like Kawhi. Like, you know what I mean? Like 70-something%, 79%. That's decent because he's always slashing. He's always going to the line. Him and JP gets to the line more than Steph and Clay.
Right.
Every game. So once he work on that little bit and know where he got to be on the court to get those little extra little buckets, I don't have no problem with him in his future. He just got to get smarter with when to go instead of just nothing, go. You know what I mean? Sometimes you got to just let shit materialize. And that's where the youngness come in at the not immaturity, but just the adolescence, I guess, in the age where he just it'll come with time. Same with JP. Damn turnover where he threw the ball across court.
Yeah, the one-hand pass. Yeah, that was dumb. Very Curry, yes. I hate to get on full, but like that look when he threw that literally reminded me of Curry when Curry used to do that behind the back, and it'll go right down.
The one hand pass. That's what pissed me off. Because again, I played. I'm not saying I was the greatest player ever because I damn well I wasn't. But when I played, my coaches used to always say, and we used to have to practice this: pass the ball with 2 hands. Matter of fact, pass the ball hard. Pause. But you feel me? Like, literally throw the ball, dog. Like, make them have to catch the ball. Make the person that you're throwing it to have to catch the ball. Because what it does is it makes the defense, when they put their hand in to try to stop the pass, all they're going to do is deflect it. They're not going to steal it because the ball coming too fast. So if the ball coming too fast, even the top star athletes are just going to get a hand in there. They're not going to snatch it. Those little one-hand passes, what it does is it lobs the ball in the air so long to where it's like football. Oh, shit, that's me. You feel me? Like they take it and they scoring on the other end every time. So that's what the biggest issue for me, and that's what happened today because we could have came back and damn near won that game. But that one sequence fucked up all momentum.
It was at a crucial point of the game. We was slowly climbing back, and that killed us.
They could have either tied or took the lead. It was 106-108 or 106-109, one of the two. And that pass fucked it up because they did not score again for like 6 minutes. No field.
He essentially threw a pick 6.
Like, God damn it, what are we doing here? And then the last thing, as far as for us and our team, of course, I'm not gonna I'm not gonna leave this out anymore. I'm sorry. Just Andrew Wiggins' absence is just huge, man. Like, I don't care what the rumors is. We can get into that if you want to, but just his absence is freaking huge because of the time. If this was to happen at the beginning of the season and happen for like 20, 30 games, I don't give a damn. I don't think you would care. I don't think any other Warrior fan will really care. They'll just be like, where is he at? Okay, whatever. We still got a hella games to go. But for it to be at the tail end of the season and you have 10 games left now, there is no word that he's coming back. There's more words saying that he could possibly miss the remainder of the season more than there's words that he can return. So with that being said, it's like, do they owe people some type of explanation of what's going on? Or should it just be like, this is what we got to ride with it, and we're not going to speak on it? We wish him the best.
Part of me, see, that's a good question. Part of me, the human in me, wants to respect his privacy because we really have no idea what's going on. Like, it could be literally life-changing, or it could be something, that we may feel that we can endure as a human being. So I try not to place myself in his shoes because we really don't know what's going on. But the one thing that we can acknowledge is that hole that is missing. Like, we haven't been able to fill his position. We've tried different solutions, but it hasn't come to fruition. So with respect to what's going on, we hope that he'll be back, but I'm not too sure that we can hold on much longer without him being there.
Right. It's like being at the edge of a cliff, or no, being over the cliff and you're holding on, but you got a whole group of people that's trying to pull you up. But you need that one person, and we don't got him. The one person that's athletic enough to pull you up over that hump, and we don't got it. And we're supposed to just, which I understand, again, the human element. We should just sit back and respect whatever the hell he's going through. But I know when it first happened, I didn't have no qualms about it because it was more like it was a family health issue.
Right.
So I was like, I'm not touching that. I'm not getting into that. If it's anything that got to do with like health, absolutely take care of that. But then with all the stories and the rumors and the extra that's coming out about the situation, and then like, I'm not gonna lie, somebody on YouTube put together a hell of a video that made me like, you know what? This shit might be true. I'm not gonna lie, because he started putting in evidence and bringing up people's Instagram pages and all that type of stuff. And then if I believe on my wife's page, I think there's at least one picture of me. It might not be a lot of them, but I believe there's at least one. You feel me? Like, anyway, so how do you feel about Wiggins being missing? And again, like, should the Warriors come out and just say we gave him the rest of the season off? I think that's the better question to ask.
I'm gonna answer the question how I would like it to be handled if I was Wiggins, even though I'm sure he has not much control over that. I would hope that they would leave it to his discretion, being that it's him that's ultimately being affected. It's a team sport, so of course everyone else is affected, but it's a sport. His life is more important than what's going on in his game. So I would just hope that mentally he's able to get his mind right, and then once he's able to get that back, then join the team. I wouldn't want him to feel pressure to return because of our how we've been playing lately. That's not his responsibility. As a teammate, yes, but as a human, as a man, he has to take care of home first. And whatever that is that's going on home, take care of that first thing.
I agree. And hearing just a lot of the people, just I'm not gonna say the morons, I'm not even gonna say the assholes. Let's just say the other side of the conversation, or the other argument, where people are like, well, hey, when we're at work and we take 2 weeks off after our vacation time or after our leave of absence, we have to call our job and let them know, hey, we're coming back or we're not coming back. Hey, we have a doctor's note, whoop-de-whoop-de-whoop. Just as far as for with this, I kind of do feel like, on a personal level, does not have to be public, but I do feel like Wiggins, if he hasn't already, should be like, hey guys, I'm going to come back, or hey, guys, I'm not going to come back until, you know what I mean? Just let them know, because I feel like if you're at home, you're probably soaking on whatever the situation is. You don't want to soak because it kind of makes the situation worse for you in your head. But then you don't want to come back and play and be playing depressed because you have a heavy heart about whatever is going on in your personal life. So it's kind of a catch-22, but I just would want him to be able to be like, hey, just like how Ja was like, hey, I'm fixing myself. You know what I mean? And I apologize for whatever I went through or whatever I did. I get what I did, and I'm working on me. That's what Wiggins should do. Hey, guys, just quick little public thing. It could be on your page. It could be from your lawyer, your attorney. Quick quick like 12 letters. Hey, guys, I'm fine. I'm just taking time out for myself. I thank you for your blessings, your prayers, and whoop-de-whoop-de. You know what I mean? Just something like that.
Absolutely. I would hope if it hasn't happened already that it has. I mean,
Right.
I think that he has a closer relationship with his team and that they know more about the situation than we do behind the scenes.
Mm-hmm.
Kind of scares me, the fact that how nothing has really been said, like up until the last couple of days. Like, we just finally got that leak. So like the fact that how they kept that, behind closed doors, it shows the professionalism. It shows how serious that it really must be for the things to play out the way they did.
Which is dope from an organizational standpoint. It's dope because that's how you want to. That's how they wanted to keep the punch earlier, in-house. Which, again, I think is dope. Just a fan perspective, I get what the other side is or what the argument is. But as far as for him, I don't believe the rumors a lot too much, because we got to see his kids. And
Right.
them babies look young. They're younger than because he probably was in high school 10 years ago. Them babies is younger than 10. So the whole rule. So I just want to kind of dispel that a bit. Now, again, somebody made some great points that make me think like, hey, maybe, but it's like, where the hell are you getting this from? That's what always make me think. Like, where are you getting this news from? Like, it's just some random dude going on the internet and everybody piggybacking off of it, just trying to get likes and views on YouTube. So that's why it's like, I want to give him the time. I'm not going to keep speculating on what the hell it could be. It just is what it is. I wish him the best. I want him to be back before the fucking playoffs start. I do want that. So
yes, that would be nice. That would be nice.
But I will say this, and y'all can make me the villain if you want to, but that's fine. Maybe to get more likes. But if this don't have to do with life and death, please bring your ass back before the playoffs start. If it ain't got nothing to do with life or death, please come back before the playoffs start.
Agreed. Please, or at least let us know what's going on moving forward, so we can do something. But like, please, it would be nice to know before the playoffs start what's going on with the final roster spot. Would be final roster.
And that's the whole reason why I kind of just went into that whole little mini rant, if you will, because it's like, I'm not going to say we wasted that 15th roster spot on Anthony Lamb, but God damn it, why didn't we go out there and get either a big man or another defender? It's not like they're not on the market. It's not like they're not on the market. I get it because this guy knows our system already. Mm-hmm. I understand it. I get it. But what is he actually helping you with? Screens? Is he helping you with screens? Is he helping you with rebounding? He does a great job boxing out. Great job positioning. But what is he really bringing to the team besides maybe little baby intangibles in the 10 minutes that he do play? It's not helping.
That's a very good point. Lamb has had he's had his moments off the bench. He's been a spark plug. He has his moments where he'll hit a few big shots, but in terms of in wholeness, it just seemed like it's been lacking there. I would have hoped that we would have utilized that spot for someone else, or at least gave someone else an opportunity. I figured he would get the heads up because he is in house and the Warriors are big on system. So
right.
That ultimately probably was the reason why. But let's just hope that they prove us wrong, man. Otto Porter, I didn't have big hopes for Otto Porter in the playoffs last year, but he came in for some big moments for us. So let's hope Lamb becomes one of the next guys like that comes up big when we need him.
See,
Bielisa, he plays sparingly, but Bielisa has some big plays for us too when he's called upon in the playoffs.
He did, and he was one of those frustrating players as well. But he had some moments in the playoffs. But Otto Porter, I'm not going to shit on him. I knew he was going to help. Game 1, Game 2, Game 3 of the season, Otto Porter and Damian Lee was busting. Corner threes, elbow threes, top of the key threes. Otto Porter was grabbing like 8 rebounds a game at one point. I was like, oh, nah. Oh, yeah. Bro, you can play with us. Hell yeah. And then that's when we got off to that little 18-4 start. I knew that he would be. He went through his little drought or whatever for like 2 months where he couldn't make a three, but then he got it back when he needed it. And can Anthony Lamb be a portion of that? He's not going to be Otto Porter, but can you be a portion of that? Can you get your three-point shot and have it there when we need it? I get it, we don't need it now, but when we need it in the playoffs.
If he can give us half of what Otto gave us last year, that would be nice. I don't anticipate him playing the amount of minutes that Otto Porter played. At certain times, Otto Porter started for some big games, so I don't think his number be called that early on. At least I hope not. If we ask him to start, then that means something is going drastically wrong. But we just need the most that we can give us. If that's a couple fouls here and there, if that's some strain, step up.
I agree. So we'll see how it goes in the overhaul. For me, as far as for like my predictions, I had gave up like 2 days ago. I think the Clipper game, I was like, nah. Or maybe after the Hawk game, I was like, nah, this team can't do it. Even after tonight, I'm gonna go with my initial thought, and I still think they can repeat. As crazy as it fucking sounds, I still think this team can repeat. And I still think that they're going to repeat. Is it going to be easy? Hell no. But I feel like, damn, I sound like a female when I say that. I feel like. Steph got some bottled up energy that he's waiting to let out. Klay got some bottled up energy that he's waiting to get out. Draymond wants to prove that he still can do it because he got a contract coming up. JP want to feel like he can do it because, hey, we might need to get rid of Draymond or y'all might have to trade me. You feel me? There's implications behind each of the top 7 guys that's going to play in the playoff rotation. So that's why I'm still like, I think they're going to do it. There's a lot behind it. And my whole thing is if they get Wiggins back, I think they can do it. I believe they can do it. They just need that wing defender back to get it done. And right now they're sitting at the 7th seed, and the team that's behind them right now is Minnesota sitting at 8th, but they're 33 and 35. The Warriors right now 36 and 36. So it's kind of safe to say that they're not going to fall out of the play-in at least, but they are in the box, especially after these last, this was a whole freaking week. So the last 5 games, because that was 5 games since the Bucks game, they're still the 7th seed. With that being said, would you prefer the 6th seed without the home court advantage? Or would you prefer the 5th seed and have to play the Phoenix Suns in the first round?
If I'm leaning towards whatever series is gonna give us home court, man.
I don't think that any series is going to give us home court at any point in time in the playoffs. I think that's kind of gone now with 10 games left. I think that's kind of done with because Phoenix not going to drop their last 10.
So you were saying with Phoenix being the 5th, Phoenix being the 4, and us being the 5?
Yep.
Oh, got you. Well, nah, give me the plan, man. Give me the plan. If we're gonna pretty much be playing on the road, then give me the lesser travel road, the road with the less work to put in.
Agreed.
I don't want potentially the Western Conference favorites in the first round. I'm not gonna say I'm afraid of them, but I'm not
you
looking forward.
Chance.
No, not in the beginning, not in the first round. No, I feel like the deeper we go, the harder we are to beat. The more momentum, the harder it'll be to beat us. The more we'll be informed. So
I agree. Totally agree. The more we'll be informed. If we get to the conference finals, I don't think nobody's beating us. Unless we lose in the finals to like a Milwaukee or something, or even a Boston again. I don't see us losing to Boston again. I don't see us losing to Boston. I mean, not again, but I don't see us losing to them. I still think we might have their number as great as they've been playing. Milwaukee is the only team that kind of scares me from the East because we can't stop. we got nothing to stop Giannis. And if Giannis is going, then what are you going to do with Chris Middleton? What are you going to do with Drew Holiday? Who's going to lock down Steph? So those kind of things kind of scare me. But as far as for what would I prefer, the 5th seed or 6 or lower, right now, since I think Memphis is the 3rd seed, I would prefer 6 or 7. Give me Memphis or Sacramento in that first round. I'm taking it all day. And I don't think they should keep trying to win games to become the 5th seed because you're going to put yourself in trouble. Let the Clippers and the Suns eliminate each other. One of them got to go. You feel me? And right now, the Clippers is the 4th seed and the Suns is the 4th seed. Or the Clippers is the 5th seed, Suns is the 4th seed. They're going to play each other and one of them's got to go. You don't want to deal with the cyborg Kawhi. He pisses me off. I hate playing against Kawhi. That he don't miss. He's a cyborg. And you don't want to play against Kevin Durant. And if you do, you at least want to give it a chance where Kevin Durant got a little bit of wear and tear on his body. You want Chris Paul to have a little wear and tear on his body. Devin Booker, he's 24, 25. He's going to be fine. You know what I mean? Ayton's going to be fine. But those other two, you want some wear and tear on their body because you know that it's a chance they might miss some games in the playoffs. Chris Paul, definitely. If he gets to the conference finals, he's not playing game 6 or game 7. He's done. It's not happening. It's happened every year. But for us, I would definitely rather have the Kings in the first round. I wouldn't even want the Grizzlies. I would take 7, and I would take the Kings.
I agree. I feel like the NBA, pretty much everyone in the basketball world was looking to see that Warriors-Kings first-round matchup. So if I was to be able to pick an opponent, handpick an opponent that's in the playoffs right now, would definitely be the Kings. And if I had to stay away from a team, it would be the Suns.
It'll be the Suns or the Clippers. I wouldn't want the Clippers either. Clippers
too. But if I was to rank them out first, the Suns, just because of that KD matchup, I feel like that'll be a dream matchup for the NBA and the media. Every game would just be the intensity would be there, and I wouldn't want Draymond to have to go against KD. I can see them getting fired up, and though it'll be entertaining. As a Warrior fan, I don't want to see that just yet. I want to wait to the finals to all the cards on the deck. I don't want to yet. You know.
I agree totally with that because even though I think the Warriors can beat Phoenix, and I think they will if they see them in the conference finals, the first round is always just such a toss-up. You just really never know because it's usually the best team usually wins in the first round, unless it's just a major upset. And right now, besides their big, well, I'm not counting Chris Paul, but besides their big 3, who else do Phoenix have? Besides Kevin Durant, besides DeAndre Ayton, besides Devin Booker, who else do they have? And they showed that the other game against the Warriors, they really don't have much. Damian Lee, Torrey Craig.
Now you're right. They're not as deep as they was in the past. They got my boy Payne. I like Payne. He a little spark plug off the bench. He's nice, but they gonna hurt not having Crowder, one of their best defenders. They're gonna hurt them dramatically, especially against a team like us.
Not having Bridges, so not having both of them.
Exactly, good call. I don't know how I missed that. Yes, Bridges as well, right?
They've been missing Bridges since he's left, and he's been balling. He's joined Brooklyn, but like he was their best defender. Steph never had a good game against Mikal Bridges, never. Right. So for you to trade that guy, now you got to go against Steph. Who's going to guard him? Chris Paul. We just seen how that looked. Campaign. Book. Who gonna guard it?
Good call.
So that's why I'm like, we got Phoenix if we play them. That I don't think that's a problem. My only thing is them Clippers. They're deep. They're deep. They have a lot of shooters. A whole lot of shooters. And Ty Lue as a coach, hands up, hands out. Because the way that he's able to do what I be wanting Steve Kerr to do and make adjustments, like Ty Lue will make adjustments after 2 plays. Oh, he sees something, he gonna call timeout, and there's a whole adjustment happens. And he makes it happens quick. Steve Kerr will wait, and then be like, okay, well, let me stop the game. All right, guys, we gotta do this, we gotta do that, we gotta do this. No. I've heard of Ty Lue huddle before. All right, guys, so since they're doing this, we're going to do this, and this is going to stop this guy, and we're going to let this guy shoot corner shots, and we're going to only allow him to do it, and then we're going to collapse. he actually makes adjustments, and Steve Kerr to me don't really make those type of adjustments like that. So having that chess match to me will scare me more than him going against Monty Brown, or is that his name? Monty Williams, excuse me, with Phoenix. So just my opinion.
Good call. You're
right. So standing in the standing section, again, 6 seed. So for you, Kings or Grizzlies, who would you rather face?
Kings. The Kings. Don't get me wrong. I'm not afraid of the Grizzlies. That would be a good matchup. It will be entertaining. It will be, a lot of back and forth. But come on now, give me the Kings. Give me a round. Get my feet going. Give me a little momentum first. That's what I'm worried about.
I'm the same way. I agree. Give me them Kings all day. Mike Brown might try to be a little play a chess game as well because he know a lot of our plays and a lot of our shit, but they still got them young boys over there. They're not ready to go far in the playoff shit. They don't understand how the game slows down, how everybody keys in on every single play because everybody knows every play now. You're not just playing this team and then not playing them again for the next 2 months. Nope, you're playing the same team again in 2 days. Then you're playing them again in another 2 days. You're playing them again in another 2 days. So you know what they're going to do already. It's just the fact that you going out there and just beating them. You feel me? So that's the whole thing with the playoffs. And I think that the Kings aren't really ready for it, but it's great that they do get to cut the 16-year drought or whatever, not making the playoffs. So shout out to Monty Brown. On that note, do you feel like Monty Brown should be coach of the year? Or if not, who do you feel like should be coach of the year? With 10 games remaining.
I have to look at, I got to get back to you on that. I would have to do a little research and look at my coaches, look at the coaches from last year's record and the record from this year and compare and contrast and see where we at. Monty Williams is definitely in the conversation. But I would have to look at the other candidates to see where they stand.
Okay, that's fair. I'll hold off on that. My answer is going to be Mike Brown. I think it's a travesty if Mike Brown don't get it, which is the Sacramento coach, our assistant coach from last year. I just think it's a travesty to take a team that was not even in the play-in last year and have them be the number 2 seed right now, not the number 6 seed, not the growing, like the team that's up and coming. No, these guys are number 2 seed. Well, with the team that they got from last year. Same team. So I just feel like he deserves those kudos, man, because you see where the Warriors are without him, and you see where the Sacramento Kings are with him.
Well, that's a good choice. He isn't getting a lot of credit throughout the league, so that's a good choice. Giving him that coach of the year would help put a little bit of prestige on his name because he has quietly been a good coach for quite a few years now. He's just finally starting to get a little bit more credit.
Get more credit.
In Cleveland with LeBron, he put up a few good seasons. So it's nice to see that he finally getting more credit that he deserves with a different
organization. Was he with Kobe his last few years? I thought he was with Kobe too.
Kobe, I believe so.
The years that had D'Angelo Russell, I think, when D-Lo and Nick Young and that crap happened with the Iggy Azalea shit.
Post Luke Walton.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I believe so. I believe he was, though. He was a coach of the Lakers. I
think he was.
So as far as for now, I'm gonna do this too, right quick. I do want to apologize to Steve Kerr because I said some things on a couple episodes of the podcast where I was saying that the team needs to run more pick and rolls. And going back, because now I'll be recording the games and going back and watching them more than twice. It's a lot of pick and roll that's being played, and it's subtle. It's very subtle, especially like a lot of Draymond Steph or Kuminga Jordan Poole or Kuminga Donte DiVincenzo or even Lamb DiVincenzo. It's a lot of pick and rolls that go on. So I gave Steve Kerr a hard time like for a few weeks now. So I just wanted to go out and just say I do apologize because now watching the games and not just on first watch, but actually going back and being able to dissect them, I'm actually seeing the pick and rolls. I'm seeing them being on every play damn near. Every possession, there's at least 1 or 2 pick and rolls. So I remember I was on his helmet last week when we were talking like, hey, when the bench guys come in, they should just be running a lot of pick and rolls. They are. They really are. They just can't get nowhere with it. The defense is just shutting it down. Either they're Either they're sagging off or they're playing up and they're sending a guy at a guy, if you know what I mean. Like, so say if Steph is coming off the screen, they're just sending that guy to show for a minute until the other defender can recover. So I'm seeing a lot of it. It's just that they can't score off of it. Like other teams just got it picked up already. So again, I just wanted to get that apology to them, but to Steve Kerr and his staff for saying with the shit that I said a couple weeks ago. But the coaching's not really been a problem for them this week. It's just really been the team. They just don't have the energy on the road. Do you feel the same way? Is it the coaching or do you feel like it's the team?
To be honest, I think it's a combination of the both because we're coming out early droughts. And I don't think that's lack of energy when you come out early deficit. I feel like a lot of that's game plan or maybe it's attributed to game plan because we're coming out in a deficit.
We're flat.
Right.
Flat as hell.
Today probably could have been probably focused on more of the effort because it'd be coming off that back-to-back. But yesterday, like, I don't know what it was. Like, I expected a better game. Like, I expected a more competitive effort from our guys against a lesser opponent. Like that was one of the games where we kind of circled that we needed and wasn't there. So
which one, the Hawk game?
Yeah, yes.
They did fine though. At least to start off.
Fine.
No, they did great to start off, but then they lost it. Just looking here at the notes, they lost it. They started off the game. They was damn near up 20 at one point. Yeah, they started off the game 12-4 run. They had it at one point that was up 27-21. Then after the 3:54 mark, the game went to shit. And Atlanta just went on a stupid run, like 35-15. They just went on a run. And that's what maybe you could be talking about, like how they allow these runs to happen so early and the runs so long. Because they be like big runs. They don't just be like a good 8-0 run. No, they be like 10-4. I said 10-4, 12-4, 35-15. Like,
right. It'll be like the runs that we used to get at other teams. It's like we getting them back now.
Yeah. If they getting us, that's what it feels like. It just feel like this is the revenge tour, but everybody's getting the revenge on the Warriors.
No, that's exactly what it was. That's why all these teams are so confident when they play us. All these nobodies are having their career highs because it's something to look forward to, you know?
Yeah, but how the hell is all these shots going in? Like, Dylan Brooks, come on, blood. 4 of 4 from 3. Yeah. 4 of 4 for Dylan Brooks. Like, if he would have been like 3 of 5, you know what I mean? He missed 2. All right, I give you that. But to be perfect from a 3-point, like, come on, blood. Right. The magnet is in the ball. Let's stop bullshitting here. Like, you guys can't turn this on and off. This is ridiculous. It was a shot. I forgot what game it was, but it was ridiculous. Matter of fact, it was one a day. Steph shot the ball. The shit bounced off. It hit the backboard, but then the shit went down the rim and then in.
Saw that.
Like, how?
Right, I saw that.
I was like, come on, man. Like, what? Y'all, can we just admit it? We got or can we just turn it off? Because I can notice it. And that's what I was saying to you during the text messages earlier when we was watching the game. I'm like, bro, now they can miss every shot at the end of the game.
Now, in the back of my mind, I've always kind of thought that just certain weird bounces you will see like, well, it shouldn't bounce that way. Or you would think it'd normally go this direction and it's right. Going in and stuff. So,
or wedgies.
Right, wedgies. Right. That too.
What? How? But now I know when we play on the courts outside, somebody just shoots the ball horribly and it gets stuck on the side.
Right, you got to really brick it to get it.
I seen a wedgie where the ball wasn't even stuck. The ball was just sitting on the back of the rim. It was just sitting there. How?
Right.
How? Like, what? Come on, man.
Weird, man. I see it's weird.
I watch too much NBA, bro, especially now that this is like a second occupation. Like, I watch way too much of it, and I be noticing little things like, damn, nobody else pick up on this shit. And then, like, the way my algorithm works on my phone, like, it'll pop up on YouTube, like, the NBA magnets. And I'd be like, all right, so what the fuck is this? Let me look. What is this? Oh, see, I knew it. I knew they could turn it on and off. And then, like, if you watch at the end of a game, like, especially if a team was shooting great, if a team was shooting great all game, it gets to the last, like, 4 minutes, it's a blowout. That same team that's up 20 cannot make a fucking basket. Right. They can't make nothing after that. But the other team going in just easy layups now. Okay, well, let's get the score to look decent before it's over. No, keep the magnet on. Like, you feel me? Like, I see the difference.
You're right. Now, it is, and this may be a little totally unrelated, but this goes back to the betting and stuff. If I don't know how into betting you are, but like it's a segment called Bad Beats, and if you're listening, sometimes the announcer will say the spread. Oh, Warriors are Vegas has Warriors winning by 6 or something like that. And
by 2.
Yeah, and the scores will slowly start to dwindle and get close to that spread. So it almost feel like the teams know what's going on, and that they can influence the game and still win it. Like they don't have to win the game, lose the game to win the spread, if that makes sense.
Right. Yeah. I agree. I think so too. Shit, how much more time you got?
I got time.
Oh, okay, cool. But not to go on your point, I agree because I feel like I watch a lot of like crime shit, like crime dramas. If I'm not watching sports, it's a lot of crime shit, like true crime. And you like watch stuff on the mob. Ain't no way you can act like that's not still going, especially in Las Vegas. There's no way you can act like that's not still going. There's no way you can act like people not getting muscle. There's no way to act like they don't have a hand in these professional sports that's making a bunch of money just by selling tickets. So if we can make money by selling tickets, and now the gambling, I'm going to call it the rules, the gambling laws have been lifted in certain places. Oh, you don't think they finna try to get money and rig these games? And I don't want to say rigs because rigs sounds so dirty. But
right. Influence. If the NBA can, I feel like if they can influence the game without changing the outcome, the win or loss, I feel like you do it.
It's business at the end of the day.
Right.
Whether we like it as fans and spectators or not, it's still business. So I get it. But let's not try to act like that's not what's happening.
Right.
You know what I mean? Your best team in the league that's making you the most money as far as views. Your most viewed team is the Golden State Warriors. They are the most viewed team. Your second most viewed team is the Los Angeles Lakers. That's just the way it goes. That's the way it is right now. So if your most viewed team who just won the championship, if they're coming now this season after they just won a championship and steamroll over everybody, everybody's going to be like, oh, this is boring. The game is boring now because we already know the Warriors is going to win it. Because that's what happened in the early part of the dynasty. We've seen it already. So now what can we do to try to maximize our potential just from the business minds? They're like, okay, well, let's drive the tickets up. The champions are now going to have to fight from the bottom, and they're going to have to claw their way all the way up to the title again.
Create a disadvantage and make it more suspenseful. That's all it seems like they're doing.
Correct. Yes. And all I'm saying is let's not act like that's not what they're doing. So that's why I'm not so like, I don't think the Warriors are going to do it. I'm very optimistic that they are.
I think that they will, what I think will happen and what I think they will do. How can I word this? Fuck. What's going to happen and what I think can happen is two different things. I feel like, of course, they have they have it in them to do it. They have the pieces when given healthy, when clicking on all cylinders to get to that level. But it just seemed like just how it's been this whole season, this whole drought. Like we've been in this funk the entire season. It just seemed like it just may not be our year. But then again, last year was the same way. Like when we counted ourselves out, that's when we got hot. We made probably our best championship run out of all of them last year, unexpectedly. So it's less expected this year. But
I called it.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
I'm not gonna lie. I didn't believe we was gonna win till we got to the finals, till we was playing Boston. Well, Mavericks too, but still. But I didn't really believe it till we got there.
I knew it. When I seen we had Denver, I was like, oh, what? We got Denver? Then when I seen that Dallas eliminated Phoenix, I was like, that's the only team I was worried about was Phoenix. I was like, oh, we got this. We got this. But I said at the beginning of the year, once they got up to that 18-4 start, I was like, oh, nobody gonna beat them. Nope.
Really, my sleeper team was the Celtics, which is another reason why I really didn't believe. I had my money on the Celtics, but once the came to the series, I bet on the Warriors. But like pre-series, I had the Celtics. They looked at the best going in, but we all know what happened.
So I hear you. I had Milwaukee though. I just felt like the Boston was too young. But then when I forgot, did Giannis get hurt or something like that? I think Giannis got hurt. They ended up in games.
Say it again?
I did say Giannis or Middleton got hurt, and then that's how Boston ended up beating them in 7 games. Right. So it really felt like it still could have been Milwaukee. Boston beat them. I still didn't think that Boston was going to beat Golden State. I was like, it's only 2 guys, Jason Tatum and Jaylen Brown. When they only have just those 2 guys, and they're going back and forth and not playing like a moving type of offense with those 2, and it's just ISO. It's going to be too hard for them to win because it's too much ISO ball.
You feel the same way if we played them this year?
I feel like this year they have a little bit more of a motion type of offense with Mazzulla, but I feel like they're not. I don't feel like they're going to do it. I don't know what it is that I don't know, but I just don't feel like they're going to do it. It's still too much of that. It's these 2 guys instead of being the whole team.
So Warriors Celtics in the finals. You still leaning Warriors?
Yeah. Yeah. Now, if it was to happen again next year for a 3rd time, I'm saying Boston.
You got to.
Because they learned their lessons. They've been through the heartbreak. They've been through the bullshit. So I'd be like, oh, no, we're not winning that shit. Boston finna win this shit. It's their time now. Warriors' time is over. It's Boston time because now they've been through that heartache. Just like Detroit had to go through that heartache with Isaiah Thomas before he finally won one. Jordan had to go through that heartbreak with Detroit and with Boston before he finally won one. Kobe had to go through heartbreak and shit with Utah and them before he finally won one. So that's why it's like, it's going to take time for Boston. They're going to get it. It's the Boston Celtics. Right. They're going to give them a chip. So, come on now. And they have a team that has good ratings. They're going to give them a chip. But they learn. It's going to take steps. You feel me? I don't think it's just going to be one of those win chip. Look at Giannis. Giannis didn't win his first 4 years. Giannis is now in year 8 or 9. Crazy enough. So
Giannis had to grind it out. Do some growing pains before he made it happen.
And that's why I think the same thing with Jason Tatum and Jaylen Brown. And honestly, I don't think they're both going to win the chip. It's going to probably take them to trade one of them.
Oh, that's interesting.
Yeah, I think it's going to take them to trade one of them and bring back like a big piece. And then
shake it up. That'll shake it up. Whatever they get back, it'll be something nice because that's a good talent right there.
Yeah.
You know, play both sides of the ball.
Now, we know damn well that this is not going to happen. I'm just throwing it out here. It's the internet anyway, so fuck it. If they was to somehow get like a guy like John Morant out of Memphis and put him with Jason Tatum, I think they'll get chipped. Because you're not relying on just Jason Tatum to be your point guard, your forward, and your center. Like Jokic is in Denver. You're relying now because now Ja is going to take over that. So he's going to get assists. He's going to be setting up a team. Now Jason Tatum can just be a phenomenal-ass wing player. You don't have to do all and just be playing defense. So just my opinion.
That would be a good move. It'll take a lot of pressure off his shoulders. You can see playing against us, he was overwhelmed by all the pressure and all the weight on his shoulders. So he can need another ball handler aside him.
Yeah, because he by himself. You know what I mean? Like when you by yourself, I think it's way more difficult. Not saying that that Jaylen Brown wouldn't do nothing because sometimes he was playing better than Jason Tatum, but the media wasn't like, oh, Jaylen Brown need to do this or Jaylen Brown need to do that. The media was Jason Tatum needs to be this. Where is Jason Tatum? Because he's not playing. The pressure's not on Jaylen Brown as much as it's on Jason Tatum. And it's crazy because Brown is older, but the pressure's more on Jason Tatum.
You're right. It's virtually zero pressure on Jaylen Brown. He didn't get none of the backlash. It all went to Tatum.
None of it. None of it. They was on Jason Tatum helmet after the finals was over. Kendrick Perkins. Jason Tatum didn't even show up. I don't know where the hell he was at, but Jaylen Brown was there. No, Jaylen Brown didn't show up. He was shooting a terrible percentage as well. He was just throwing up shots. So, I don't know, man. I think it's going to take a trade for them to win a chip. But Boston's my team coming out the East. Not Boston, Milwaukee.
Okay.
Who stops Giannis? I used to hate Giannis because I was like, he has no skill. But it's like, hey, when you can just drive to the bucket and nobody can stop you, what the hell else do you need? You don't need a jumper. Nobody can stop you going to the bucket.
I hated his game too. His game was boring as hell. I hated that just drop your shoulders, drop your head, just get to the rim. I hated that game.
Right. Me too. But it's just like, who gonna stop you? If you can't stop it, keep doing it.
Okay.
So that was my thing with them. But that's my predictions as far as who makes it in the East. So again, I'm going. My predictions. I still think the Warriors make it to the Western, the NBA Finals. I still do, and I think the path that they do it. I know I'm rambling and talking a lot, but I think the way that they do it, they go through Sacramento. After they go through Sacramento, they go through Denver, and then after they go through Denver, they go through Phoenix. I just think that's the way that it's gonna happen. It's the way it's got to go in order for them to win the chip. If it don't go that way, I don't see them winning chip. But it has to go that way. Sacramento, Denver, Phoenix. If it goes any other way, if it goes Memphis, Denver, Clippers, it's not happening. If it goes Memphis, Denver, Suns, it's not happening. Like, it's got to be that Sacramento got to be that first team because you don't want to waste hella energy with 6 games against Memphis. You don't want to.
Agreed. You want to come out with a daisies, come out with an easy one if we can, just to get the momentum going because we slow right now. We flat.
Right.
So we need to spark.
Yeah. So and then again, my East team is Milwaukee. I think Milwaukee's coming out. Love Brooklyn, love the young guys, but Drew Holiday has really shown me something this year. And if Drew can lock down either Jaylen Brown or Tatum, just one of them, I don't see them getting past it. Marcus Smart ain't finna be a 20-point scorer every game in the season. In the series for you. So I'm going with Milwaukee. So Milwaukee versus Warriors in the finals is what I'm looking at. Do you have any predictions?
Rough predictions. I know this gonna be subject to change, but for the time being, I'm gonna go from the West. I'm gonna go with Phoenix. I'm gonna go with Phoenix out the West right now, and out the East, I'm gonna go with the Celtics, Phoenix in the finals with Celtics. I think coming out on top. I think they stay here.
Boston. If that happens, Boston.
I think that matchup last year that taught them a lot. I think that we still got that taste in their mouth, that tasted that little bit of championship that I thought that they thought they had, because they pretty much had us. Once it was 2-1, they was in the driver's seat, and then they just relaxed. So,
I agree. I kind of got not an argument, but I got a rebuttal with that. So if that's the case, because remember Miami, when they went to the finals, they didn't make it back the next year. They was kind of like a middle tier team, but really teams from the East don't really make it back again. Who was after that? Milwaukee didn't make it back. They got eliminated early. You feel me? So that's what makes me like, I don't think Boston's going back. Somebody else from the East, because the East can't stay consistent with one team since LeBron left it. So it's been kind of a hodgepodge.
Yeah, true. Miami, I don't count that one year. That was that pandemic year, that COVID year. That was that Mickey Mouse year. So I don't put too much into Miami.
That would be forever tainted as the Mickey Mouse season. Like, Not even the bubble no more. That's the Mickey Mouse year.
I mean, it is. That was the awkwardest NBA playoffs ever.
I was entertained by it though because it was mid-October. That shit was going on. Would you take Jimmy Butler on the Warriors
as a free agent or giving up somebody just straight up?
You probably would have to give up somebody, but my consensus is that his time in Miami is coming to an end, and I can see him going somewhere else.
Yeah, Jimmy Butler would be a phenomenal Warrior. I feel like he'd fit in perfect with our system. I don't think he's a ball. I feel like he will fit in right well, especially on our defense. The offense, I don't think we would expect too much out of him. It would be more so the defense we would expect him to step up on. But I think he's not a selfish player. He doesn't mind passing the ball, you know. But when asked upon to score, he can go and get a bucket.
Yes, he can. That's why I think I would get him, even in the trade. Sorry, Wiggins. Sorry, Poole. But I'll let y'all go to Miami for Jimmy Butler for 2 more championships. If it was next year, if we lose this year, that's my stipulation. Because JP he's falling out of favor with Warrior faithfuls. Not me, but like if you just ask around, you listen to like 95.7, I know you do. Yeah. He's falling out of favor real quick out here. So you might want to get him out if you can, get something for him. And Wiggins is his best friend on the team. So, hey, ship both of their asses out. Give me Jimmy Butler. He ain't missing no games if he can. So.
No, that wouldn't be a bad move. If we do decide not to go deep in the playoffs this year, I can see some changes happening with our roster. So that wouldn't be a bad switch up. Poole does likely seem like one of the bigger names that will be on a chopping block or will be in discussions on a trading block. So I'm all for a discussion for Jimmy. I'm not sure giving up both of them, but
he said I'm not sure giving up both of them. You probably would have to. The money wouldn't match, I don't think, but you would still have to give up both of them. Yeah. Pat Riley we talking about here.
Yeah, true. I would be willing to, though. It all depends on what we got back. You throw in maybe who they got, a Duncan Robinson, maybe. You know, I like him as a shooter, though. He been kind of quiet this year, but
he hasn't even really played for them. They got this tall dude I would take. I forgot his fucking name. Like Julius Silva or something like that. It's some foreign guy, but he's tall as shit, but he can play. I would take him. And if not him, then fuck it. Trade a contract for the Milwaukee Boys. Give us Tyler Hero. I'll take Tyler Hero. Y'all take Jordan Poole. And Wiggins. Give us Jimmy Butler and Tyler Hero. I take it. To go with Steph, he's a real bench player. He knows his role. JP don't know how to come off the bench.
True, but I feel like JP still scratching the surface of his potential.
You're right. And I would hate to give up on him because I feel like he can be another Steph down the line. But getting there and the patience from like Warriors fans and hell, even the patience from the front office, is that patience there? That would be my only question.
That's a good observation because right now it seems like it is for the time being, but you know how that can change. Losing early in the playoffs can change how you feel about a certain player and how the team is. So
right, and winning cures all else, as they say. So right. If win, then they won't even. I don't think they'll be tripping. I think they'll be like, oh, we'll thug it out one more year. But I think if they lose, and in like first round, second round, there's going to be some roster overhauls. And I don't think it's going to be Draymond like everybody think it is. Everybody think it's going to be Draymond. I don't think he goes anywhere.
Me neither. I think Draymond knows this is his best situation. He's playing one of the best shooters to ever shoot the ball. Like, why would you want to not pass to him when you can't shoot yourself? Like,
period. And the bullshit of here you go. Why would he want to go to the Lakers? Who's going to pass it to LeBron? LeBron can't shoot.
Right. Like,
AD really can't shoot.
Oh, maybe he would go to the Lakers, but with the changes they made this year, I can't see that.
They can't afford him. No team can afford him. And he's making $29 million next year. So to like all the fans who think he's gonna opt out, he's not getting $29 million again.
Exactly. That's what I've been saying. No one's gonna pay him that much.
At 33 or 30, what is he, 33, 31? Well, Steph is 35, so he's 33. So at 33, they're not paying. They're not. Born in 1990, so he's 33. He's not getting another $29 million contract from another team.
Agreed. And not to have a role he got with us, with the impact he's going to have on both sides of the ball. Like, nah, him ain't going nowhere.
Not going anywhere. So the biggest thing that can happen is JP probably getting sent off, or Wiggins because of his situation, or somebody else. I don't see Clay going anywhere.
Clay got here. Yeah, Clay got. I think they're gonna ride it out with Clay.
I think they're gonna ride it out as well. So you could see more of the youngsters going out. Moody, this could be his last season. I think he's gone at the end of the year. They're gonna find a situation for him. He's out of there. So they gotta. A lot of people's next season really depends on how this season goes, how this last 10 games, how the playoffs goes. Because if not, a lot of these young cats that we were so happy to see play or want to see on the court will not be here next year. Because they're not another $1 billion for a roster that does not go far in the playoffs. It's not happening.
Facts.
They're $500 million now? Or with they're like $500 million that they're paying for the team this year since they just signed somebody to the 15th roster spot. $500 million for a team that is now the 7th seed and 500 at 36 and 36. Wild. Let's see. You got your questions? Your rapid fires?
No, I didn't write them down. No.
This is your idea. You didn't even write your rapid fires down.
We gotta start. We gotta start doing like maybe like a pre-call so we can coordinate some stuff. Coordinate what we gonna say. You be more prepared than me.
Yeah, I am, blood. I got
I got some stuff I got going on.
The stats on the back. Just hella shit. Like
look, I got my notes. I ain't even read none of them. Maybe like one or two lines.
Is those from the games?
Yeah. Some of them, like
I didn't have them. So, yeah,
a quarter was a little bit was from the Sun games, and then the rest was from the Grizzlies game tonight.
So you got the Suns game and the Hawks game. The Suns game and the Grizzlies game.
I got a little bit. Yeah, I got the first quarter of the Suns, the fourth quarter of the Suns game. I wrote a few notes down, and then I got a good chunk of the Grizzlies game. I wrote some notes down.
All right, well, let's do this. Let's go backwards. And I'll cover maybe the other games. Just so it won't seem like you used your notes for no reason, or you wrote your notes for no reason.
Like, let me see. It's stuff that I touched upon. I just didn't have to look at it. I write like bullet points, like an outline, then I can kind of like talk about it. So I kind of touched on some of it, but not all of it. Like, let me see. Like my notes, like I like Kuminga involved early on both sides. Nice matchup so far against Jaren Jackson. We can't stay in front of nobody defensively. Same team, different road game. Getting out hustled, outplayed, like little stuff like that. Like it ain't super in depth. It's just stuff that I'm jotting down as I'm watching the game.
You don't have to, because I'm doing a lot of this other shit anyway. So you really don't have to, because I do like pretty much play by play almost, like, and I really don't have to because it takes up hella fucking time. But I do like play by play. Then like write the stats down for like each quarter. So like for example, like the Memphis game, at the end of the game or end of the quarter, 23-33 at the end of the first quarter. Jonathan Kuminga had 11. Kevon had 6. Desmond Bane had 7 for Memphis. Jaren Jackson had 7. The Warriors shot 38% from the field, 33% from 3. And like just little stuff like that. 4 turnovers in the first quarter, and I just do it like that. So like every quarter I get some stats and I go play by play if I want to talk about that shit. Sometimes it's too long, but I get the stats at the end of each quarter. And that's really it, just to talk about it, just for like people who missed the game and they listen to the cast or whatever. So, oh yeah, I didn't know that happened in the game. So just that type of shit. So then at the very end of the week, I can post like the best plays of the week or whatever, like how I did before, and just go shit. So again, you ain't got to really do it this week because there's so many freaking games. Like this was a long week. It was 5 games. So that's a lot to damn review. I don't even want to do it myself, to tell you the honest to God truth. I do not want to, and I got them all written down, but it's like I don't feel like doing that shit. So we could just leave the reviews out for the week. And we could just actually do this, the video thing, so we don't have to do reviews. As far as for do you have anything yourself? Oh. Yeah, do you have anything before? I got 2 more things I want to talk about, but do you got anything real quick?
No. I don't.
Okay. All right. So before we get out of here, so the last things I want to talk about is really just for the week. Ja Morant returns on Monday for Memphis. So
it's official?
Yeah, it's official. So he gets to come back. That first game actually will be against the Dallas Mavericks. So they get to come back. I'm rooting for the Memphis Grizzlies, especially against Dallas, because Dallas holds that sixth seed right now over us. So I'm hoping that Memphis can beat them on Monday. But how do you feel about Ja finally being back now from his 8-game suspension back on Monday?
I'm excited for him to get back on the court, man. With a lot of this negative stuff that's been happening off the court, I'm just ready for him to get back to doing what he loves to do and just to entertain us. I'm not saying that we're going to forget about what happened and not, wish him the best, but just let's get back to seeing Ja do what he does best, and let's play basketball.
Yes, basketball. Goddamn right. So for them, they probably still end up the season because they did damn good without Ja. I think they went what was that? 3-2 without Ja. 4-2 without Ja after tonight. So 4-2. It's pretty goddamn good. So and he comes back on Monday. I think they're gonna take that second seed from Sacramento. I think Sacramento's gonna drop. So best of luck to them. But I'm saying all this to say because the injuries and everything starting to happen, especially like now for Minnesota, who is the team that's under us now. And they just lost Anthony Edwards, so he's out indefinitely with an ankle injury. So they could possibly drop further without Anthony Edwards. They traded away D'Angelo Russell. Cat's still hurt. So they don't really have a lot. So with that being said, the Warriors are not dropping out of the playoff race. They're not dropping to 10. That's the whole point of me saying those 2 things about Ja and about Anthony Edwards. They're not dropping out the playoff race. They're not going to be 11. They're not going to even be 10. I think the Lakers and Thunder got that. But they're going to be fine. Do you believe the same way, especially with the injuries to now major players in in Minnesota, and then Dallas still have Luka out, and we don't know when Kyrie plays. He plays a game, miss a game, plays a game, miss a game.
I think we got it in us, honestly, but I'm not really too optimistic until I can see us put up, 2 good road wins or like 2 good road appearances. Then I'm not really confident. We played horribly the last couple fourth quarters on a road. So until we can get a win on a road and maybe 2 consecutive wins on a road, I'm at that point. I'm having to reevaluate judges every single game because we have no consistency. We have nothing to look forward to except when we play at home. And you can't win a championship just winning only home games if you're not a high seed. So until we show a little bit more consistency and put up a better fight on our road, I'm not too optimistic at the moment.
Okay, can I, what they say, curb your enthusiasm real quick? What if I was to say that there's 10 games left? There's 5 road games. There's 5 home games. The 7 of the road games that the Warriors have won, hear me out, the 7 that they have won this year have been against all teams under 500. Their remaining road games are against teams under or at 500. are you still optimistic knowing that their hardest game is going to be the Philadelphia 76ers when we return sometime next week?
Not really. I still kind of lean the same direction because the Warriors, we're the type where we'll play up to up to an elite opponent, but when we get that lesser known opponent, we'll play down to that opponent. So knowing that alone, it don't give me much more reassurance. It honestly makes me feel like it's gonna be more tough for us. It's gonna be more back and forth, being that we playing some of these lesser known teams that we tend to always kind of struggle with.
Again, let me curb your enthusiasm. I'm just having fun with this now. Because history shows at the very, very tail end of the season, we go on runs. Whether 3-game run, 4-game run, 5-game run, we go on some type of run to close out the season. Even did it the freaking horrendous season of 2020, 2021 when we got eliminated by Memphis in the play-in.
Right.
I think we won the last, 6 or 7. We had won straight off and ended up 39-33. So with that being said, is Steph, Dre, they know how to close out the season if they're playing. I even think Kirk can close out the season. These last games are against winnable teams. Freaking winnable. The Rockets, OKC, Minnesota, they're all winnable games. Does that still make you not as optimistic against these lower tier teams when they're falling lower than the Warriors are right now?
I mean, I would rather face a lesser talented team than a perennial team. But being how we've been playing lately, I almost fear the lesser known teams than the like when this comes to town. Like I said, the Warriors are going to play good. They're going to play up to the team. Like they're going to play good tonight because they're playing a good team. Oh, the Hornets are coming to town. Or the Warriors, they may get the Warriors problems. Like I've seen it too much this year to want to really feel confident. Yeah, I have to see it when it matters and late in the season. Maybe with the emergence of some of our our backups coming back, it'll help curb that a little bit more. But as of right now, I haven't seen anything that would make me feel like we are based on this. I'm looking only at this season. I would have to look in the past to feel a little bit of optimism, but I'm trying to solely focus on this season.
Okay, I understand. I get it. Only teams, though, that really gave us problems were that's not winning now is Detroit. I don't know why.
Detroit?
I don't know. Fucking Detroit. But Orlando gave us problems, but Orlando's giving everybody's problems right now. Like, even though they're not even in the playoffs, they're having fun playing spoiler. Like, they're whooping everybody's ass. Markelle Fultz just had like 28 and 8 last night. Markelle Fultz, the guy who was like literally kicked out of Philly. Like, so I think that the Warriors can. I think they will. I know that they will.
Who we have next?
The Houston Rockets. So that's a win. I don't care if it's the road.
It's on the road. I don't know. Is it on the road?
Yes, and we beat them last time in Houston after getting smacked 3 straight road games. So it's gonna be even if it's our only road win, that's gonna be a win. Now the Dallas one, I don't know. Depends on if Luka plays.
Houston playing spoiler too. Keep in mind, Houston just beat somebody.
Them little Rockets, they just go out there and try to dunk and shoot.
Matter of fact, it was a game winner today, I think, or last night.
For who?
Somebody from the rookie from Houston, game winner to some good team they beat last night. Either today or last night.
I know because they showed the highlights during the game. Because they had the Rockets jersey on. I was trying to think of who the hell that team was.
I want to say that, but maybe not the Celtics. It was somebody nice though.
Was it the Celtics? I was thinking, but now you got me thinking. Like I remember that because they had the blue jerseys on. They was in Houston.
Yep.
Oh, they beat the Pelicans. It was the Pelicans.
Pelicans? Oh, damn! Ain't nobody about that.
Right. So that's why I'm like, I ain't worried about them Rockets because they just gonna shoot up hella threes and miss them, and they not gonna really do nothing else. That's why I'm not worried about them. So They're gonna get the win on Monday against the Rockets. We'll see against Dallas because that might be difficult. Depends on if Kyrie and Luka miss that game, but they don't play because they don't have defenders. So that could still even be a win. When you come back home, I feel like they're gonna absolutely beat Philly because they had such a shitty road trip and they play better at home. I can't tell you why. And after that, I think it's like Sacramento, OKC, San Antonio, and another random team. And that's it.
Oh, yeah. That's too tough.
7-10,
right.
I'm done with them this year. I'll cut the show short. We'll stop the show. We'll stop the season early. Season finale would be like episode 13, and we'll cut it till next season. Like, fuck it. But I don't think I have to do that. I think we got it. Again, like anything else you want to say, I think that we could wrap it up. I forced you to go 108 minutes. So I tried to prolong as long as possible, see how long I can keep you.
No, it didn't seem like it. It didn't seem like it. It seemed like it was longer last time.
Because it was your first time. So feel me, like just working the nerves and being on camera, like it felt like it's hella long. But I think it was so much to talk about this time, and especially coming off the emotion of just watching the game like an hour or two ago, it went by so much faster. So that's why I think it went easier for you. But shit, my guy, I thank you so much for joining me, bro. You got to now be an official host. I got to put your picture now up on the page so we can have both on it and make a new logo and get you, man. Let's make this happen. Appreciate you, though.
It's all good, brother. Until next time.
Until next time, man. So you have a good weekend, bro. I'll talk to you during the week.
You do the same, brother.
All right, man.
All right.